Hey, this is the World Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is a question that a lot of people are wondering nowadays, which is why is there so much civil unrest and more specifically riots in the United States? Why is it like every few months, particularly 2022, um was quite a bad year and and stuff. And the past few years were also pretty quite bad too. Why is there always consistently riots in the United States of America? Now, the truth of the matter is, when you hear conservative media speak, they're going to simply say, oh, well, it's a brainwashing of BLM and this and that and blah, 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 blah. But the truth couldn't be further from the truth. The truth of the reason why there's so much drama is simply due to the mistreatment of Black people. And more specifically, to be even more exact, it's due to the incompetence of the police station for simply holding people who are clearly in a lot of cases rude, violent, and so on and so forth, accountable for the crimes that they did. Now, of course, the Republicans in general, of course, or more specifically conservatives, they've been out to get Black people for since the dawn of America was created. They've been out to get Black people. So of course they're going to say a different side of the story. But the truth of the matter is that it is actually the fault of the police force, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, as I'm certain anyone who can use their brain for that matter, even someone who's really slow for that matter, can realize that we need a police. The police are people who keep law and order, they protect society, and so on and so forth. And the truth of the matter is, we as human beings know we need the police. Okay, some situations you can handle on your own, even if you're one of those big, tough, hard ass guys. Not everyone in the world can handle bad situations. Not to mention, at the same time, not everybody you know, is interested in martial arts and combat. People have different interests, passions, and that's what makes our society thrive. A society that just simply focuses on one specific thing, for anything for that matter, is always going to be destined to fail. So the truth of the matter is, yes, absolutely. Absolutely we need a police, because people don't have time for that type of crap, okay? In general. So yeah, everyone is aware of this fact. I'm certain everyone who uses common sense, either directly or indirectly, is aware of this fact. We need a police. But the truth of the matter is, there's a difference between having a police and dealing with police who are racist, who call people the N word. I've watched CNN, and there's reports of these certain police officers have like dozens of reports of them being racist, not to mention, them being disrespectful, taking minor situations and blowing them out of proportions, and all that type of stuff. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say. You see what I'm saying? Trying to say in all honesty. That's why so many people get so angry about it. It's not because they're policing, because why would so many people just simply get pissed off simply because police are in their community? That doesn't make any sense. So the reason why it's like this, a lot of these police have caused a lot of problems, and the police force have done a really piss poor job. If anything, even worse. The best terminology to use is using fecal matter as an example when it comes to how well they did actually dealing with these police officers. They don't do anything. They don't do anything about them. And of course, as time goes on, situations build up, it gets worse. You have the same cops doing the same thing, and things continue to get worse than they are, even, tend to get worse. So that's the first thing I want to get out there, is that a situation built up, and of course, people get angry, they get frustrated and irritated, and they start rioting. Okay, so that's the first thing, that reason why there's so many riots in the United States. Okay, the second reason why there are so many riots in the United States, in all honesty, to go along with the first point, or I should say my second point, to go along with the first point is to the fact simply due to the fact that these situations haven't been resolved. And to be more exact, the police officers are simply, just they're just doing a bad job. They're just doing a bad job. And a lot of them, um, to be more specific, are getting off with light sentences. And they're doing this all the time. Like look at George Floyd's death. Look at a lot of these police officers' deaths, and you see how small how little sentences they got. They got like 20 something years. This they killed a human being. Why the hell is this person getting like 20 something years? Why isn't this person getting 52 more years, if anything? Just because they're a cop doesn't mean they necessarily should get like 20 something years in prison. If an everyday person were to do this, there would be severe penalties. So yeah, that's the truth of the matter I'm trying to get at here. Is that a lot of these situations, to answer anyone's question, have built up over time. And of course, the more you build something up because you're not doing anything, it will only get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until it explodes. So there's a riot, you know, because people didn't treat this person well. It got recorded on camera. Then the situation ends. Whether the cop gets convicted or not, then another situation goes on, and another situation goes on, and another situation goes on until things just get bad. So that's what I'm trying to say here, if anything. So things, of course, will continue to get worse because of the lack of policing, and because of, or more specifically, the bad policing that's going on in the United States. So things are always going to get worse. And it's just like any situation in the modern world. It's not going to get any better. It's just going to get worse. Just like every situation we've had, whether it comes to issues like global warming, gender inequality, racial inequality, and this and that, it just continues to get worse. Like it doesn't get any better. It just balances out a little bit, but it doesn't like truly change or anything like that. It's just the same shit, in honesty. So the truth of the matter is that's exactly what I'm getting at here. It's the same thing, the same this, the same that, and it's just gonna get worse, in all honesty. So there's not gonna be any end of riots anytime soon because the police have this way of thinking they're right on everything. I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. Instead of realizing that maybe we have some bad cops, behind the scenes, bad cops. And they don't hold it accountable. Even with the always, well, it's a small percentage of cops, they still don't do a good job in actually holding a small percentage of cops actually accountable. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say here. And that's why these riots keep on happening because they back each other up no matter what. So it's just like people lose hope. And when people lose hope, they get violent. There's either two things people do when they lose hope. Either they become submissive, which I know for a fact a lot of people are not going to do that for that matter. People, but yeah, like that's the point I'm trying to get here is that people either become submissive, they lose hope, they just don't do anything, they start taking drugs and all that type of stuff and just give up, or they start fighting. And it's like, if I'm going down, at least I'm taking someone down with me. And that's what I'm trying to get at here. That's why these things happen. And it happens all the time because these cops are not doing a good job in holding these police officers accountable. So it's just going to get worse. And it's the same old. Like every situation in the world, it's just same shit. Nothing new. Same old, same old, same old. Anyway, this is my video. Um, I hope you enjoyed it. If you like more political videos like this, remember to thumbs up this video and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say. Later.